talk about recycling. I'm sure you've heard of the benefits of recycling and how it can help the environment. Knowing these things, you may have wanted to start recycling yourself. So I'm going to tell you how you can get started and hopefully answer any questions you have on your to make your journey to being eco-friendly a little bit easier. I will explain how to find out where you can recycle, what items are recyclable, and recycling's impact on yourself and the environment. A lot of the information I will present today I found on the Environmental Protection Agency's website, and I encourage you to visit it if you have any remaining questions. If you ever considered recycling, you probably wondered, where can you do it? Everyone has different options depending on where you live. So how do you find the options for your location? If you go to berecycled.org, it is a website where you can put your location and you can find out all the recycling options for your location. Since it's different everywhere, I will be using Eva Beach's zip code as the example. When you put in the Eva Beach zip code, you get many different lists of drop-off centers you can go to. The first on the list is Reynolds Recycling, and it accepts a multitude of items, some of which you can even get a monetary reimbursement for. An example of the monetary reimbursement would be the bottle deposit reimbursement. If you go to Reynolds Recycling's website, they even offer a list on how to take care of your recyclables to make sure they're accepted. If your bottles are heavily soiled, they won't accept them. So make sure you rinse them off and whatnot before you take them in, so you can be applicable for the reimbursement. Reimbursements are determined by the product that you're recycling's material and weight. If you wanted to have a more accurate number, instead of doing weight, you can opt to have your materials counted. But to be able to opt for that, you have to have at least 200 containers. The only con is, even though it's more accurate, is it takes more time. You can't go in with the number you have to have a Reynolds Recycling employee do the count for you. There are also other items other than bottles you can get a monetary reimbursement for, such as aluminum, glass, plastic, and steel. Now we have to find where now that we know where we can recycle them and how to find where for your location, the next step would be what can and cannot be recycled. Not everything can be recycled. It's important to keep the recyclables sorted, and if you mix recyclable items, it can potentially contaminate the recycling stream, which could break equipment or just have them send your items to a landfill, which beats the purpose of trying to recycle to begin with. Certain items that can't be recycled are garden hoses, sewing needles, bowling balls, food scrap, propane tanks, and most hazardous material items that you find in your house, like household cleaners. But there are many things that can be recycled, like the previously mentioned things you can get a monetary reimbursement for, and cardboard, paper, mail, cans, glass, and most plastics. Keep in mind that there are many different kinds of plastics, and not all are recycled the same. For example, plastic grocery bags can't be recycled with typical plastics. A lot of grocery stores do offer an option to bring in your plastic bags and recycle there. And right now, since we are having a COVID pandemic, there's even an option for them to come to your house and pick it up. To find out your location's choices of how you can recycle your plastic bags, you can go to plasticfoamrecycling.org, or you can just opt to use reusable bags and not use the plastic ones at all, so you don't have to worry about the different process of how they get recycled. A lot of states are now placing fees in, so that way it's encouraging you to use paper bags or bring your own bags, and Hawaii is one of these states. So back to the hazardous materials that can't be recycled, like cleaning fluids, chemicals, propanes, and other hazardous items. They can't be recycled, but often recycling centers will take them anyways, because if they aren't disposed of properly, they can pollute the environment. An example of a business that will take these unrecyclable items is Home Depot. They will take fluorescent light bulbs. They even have a drop-off box right when you walk in. or like cleaning solvents, they can't be recycled, but sometimes they can be reused. And there's other hazardous materials that get blended together to be an ingredient for fuel. For items left over, like paint, it's better to try and contact your local charity, school, or church to see if they will accept them there before you take them to be disposed of. So now that you know what can be recycled and what can't be recycled, why should you recycle? Well, according to the EPA, recycling conserves energy and natural resources, and that recycling just 10 plastic bottles can save enough energy to power a laptop for up to 25 hours. When you make a new product from new material, you expend energy and burn fossil fuels, but when you recycle, the material is already made. So any energy and waste that would have been created in creating the new material is not an issue. If you want to see the impact that you've made from recycling, the EPA has a tool on their website called the Individual Waste Reduction Model, or IWARM. If you go into there, you can put in what you've recycled, and it will tell you the energy that you saved from the recyclables you've inputted. Recycling also reduces waste that gets sent to landfills, and it helps preserve our natural resources like timber, water, and minerals. Recycling can even help us economically as it creates jobs in the recycling and manufacturing industries. In fact, a national study in 2016 found that in just a year of recycling and reuse activities in the U.S., that created 757,000 jobs. Those jobs created $6.7 billion in tax revenue and $36.6 billion in wages, meaning that for every 1,000 tons of materials recycled, someone gets $76,000 in wages, and we get $14,101 in tax revenue. I hope you found this informative and maybe even want to start recycling yourself. We have one Earth, and we are all responsible to do our part to take care for it. Everything helps, so don't feel discouraged when you're getting started. Something as small as just using a reusable bag at the grocery store can help make an impact. I appreciate you all for being here and listening to me, and I hope this helps encourage any efforts to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Thank you very much.